Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Time to wake up. What is reality?
Welcome to the real.
Time to wake up. What is reality?
Welcome to the real.
Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good?
What's going on, bro? We got the dual stream going on. They thought it was my
Yeah.
intro, bro. I was like, nah. This is the homie Leon. You know what I'm saying? We doing things a little bit different tonight.
Yeah. I was gonna hit mine, but I was like, you know what? We doing a dual joint. You know what I mean? We just gonna lead in with the standby and bless them with us. You know what I mean? Doing it how we do it. The world's finest Batman, Superman of the ZSSM movement, Zack Snyder Cell movement. Man, before we get started, how are you feeling tonight, bro?
I'm chilling, man. I'm feeling great, bro. Feeling nice and loose, nice and limber. You know what I mean, bro? I went, got pedicure, manicure, facial this morning. Then I went and got a massage later in the day, bro. It was my first time like doing all that since I didn't been out the hospital. I've been super tense. You know what I'm saying? And now we feeling much, much better. So yeah, man, I had a wonderful day, bro. We feeling fantastic, bro. Fantastic. Right. And yes, y'all be sure to go smash that like button on both streams because we are on both channels. You dig?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Show love to both channel. And it's
Both
pretty
channels, you
fire,
dig?
bro. I love this idea. You know what I'm saying? You were like, let's do a duel. I was like, yeah, that's dope. I like that. Let's do it at the same
Yeah,
time.
because this was really like a labor of love between both of us too. Like it like
Facts.
really was. I mean, and what's wild is too is this shit is kind of similar to like what happened with Sale, because I just asked a question, bro. Right?
Yep.
It was a simple question that just led us down the fucking rabbit hole, and I was like, oh my God,
100%.
it's been right in front of us this whole time. Crazy.
This entire time, man. It's crazy. Yeah, he's right too. We were just having a conversation, and Sky asked a simple question, and then we just went down this rabbit hole, man. And you know, it's been pretty cool. I mean, and for me, I feel like Kojima, because I don't even feel like I've completed the work per se, but I know the people hungry for this. They're wondering like, what were these dudes cooking, man? What have they been cooking in the kitchen? We're gonna get to that, you know. But first, let's get through the rigmarole. Sky, that's your specialty. Hit him with it.
Oh no, bro, I don't got that up on here. Just make sure y'all smash that like button. You know what I'm saying? We trying to increase the subscribers on both these platforms. I'm on the road to 5K. I know Leon is. Look, man, we trying to get him to stream more. That's also why I was like, hey, we're gonna do this shit as a dual stream, bro. Like,
yeah,
like for sure. Let's get
I could feel it too
on that channel too. You know what I'm saying?
I could feel it too. He was like, I was like, you know what, man? The homie really trying to light that fuse, man. I dig it, man. So out of respect, I definitely gotta, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna set the date and I'm gonna show up because your boy had a busy week, like busier than usual. I was like, what the one time that I'm like, all right, let's do this. Everybody want me. Everybody need me. I'm like, God dang. So it's all good, man. We here, you know what I'm saying? And speaking of hitting likes and shares and subscribes.
When you enter the lair, show some decorum. Hit the like, share, and subscribe to the New Geeks.
Yes, definitely. Let me take a peek at the chat and see who has arrived. Ooh, this chat's hot. My goodness. Look at this. Look at this. We got the good Austin, one of the greatest producers I've ever met, the producer of the Syndicate Network. We got Alan Belk saying flop after flop after flop after flop. Yes. We got DC Talk in the building. We got Bell Rev saying finally she's going to be here from start to finish. Thank you for showing up, Bell Rev. I checked out your last stream. I was in the chat showing love to you, and you were having a conversation about Gunn. Everybody go check out her channel and her conversation. It was pretty dope. We got Sin Havoc in the building saying, well. Hey, Sin Havoc, this one's for you, brother. This stream's for you. We got Chris Brown in the building. That's what's up, saying good evening, everyone, and happy Friday. A happy Friday indeed. TGIF. Thank God it is Friday. We got Bat Dan's thoughts in the building. Thank you for showing up, Bat Dan. We got the lovely Mama Bear, always showing love, one of the greatest mods out there. You know what I mean? Who else we got? We got Venkata. We got Anna, who's that? Oh, Antonio Lopez. We got... Who else we got? We got Jamar. We got, this is a full chat. Good God Almighty. If I'm missing names, DC all the way. We got Rebel Moon Theory. Shout out to Rebel Moon Theory. Who else we got up in the building? We got South Cali guy. And I seem to have skipped a super chat. Let me highlight that. It's from the good Austin. He says, put it towards the, 318 is different this year. Those pesky cell people, they probably think that we'll never learn, that maybe we're too ignorant, not realizing it's just that we refuse to bend the knee. Not to them.
Not to them.
I like that. Wink at that, right? Because my man, he bent the knee, fiance. I dig it. There's an underlying thing there. Let me leave that up. You know what I mean? Let's see what we got for him as a drop. What we got for him? Let's see. How about this one?
So I really don't want to hear it anymore. It's just like James Gunn's little bitches who are giving me that problem.
Let's hit the brother with one more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Kay Walton, James Gunn's not more successful than Zack Snyder at the box office. Zack Snyder, look at Batman v Superman and how well 300 did and all that stuff. Boy, I gotta tell you, James Gunn's fans, you guys are like, you're more aggressive. Let's just say more aggressive than even Snyder fans, and that's saying something. Woo! And you got a lot of free time, I must say.
Woo! That shit is hilarious. She was kind of cute for that. I like that.
Yeah, this was legendary, bro. That was crazy.
100%. So yeah, that's a perfect segue into what we are doing tonight. You know, this is an interesting chat that we've been having for the past few days, and we're gonna see where this leads. You know, it's smoking gun and upward failure. Could this be the downfall of the DC universe, right? You know, has there always been a smoking gun, so to speak, within the modern era of DC on film? Has this unknown truth led to the potential downfall of the DC brand? Let's unpack this. So, Sky, seeing as though this stemmed from a question born of your mind, what are your first initial thoughts about this topic?
Yeah, it was crazy, man, because as we have kind of had these conversations in the past, right? One of the things that did not kind of correlate with us or really make any sense was we kept trying to figure out, like, yo, man, why does it seem like this guy is so protected, bro? Like, there are all these like things that happen, right, in terms of like bots and media coverage, and I mean the media caping for this guy, and we're like, yo, like, what the hell is it? Like, this guy, he isn't even that great of a director, man. Like, he's had some good to okay movies in the Marvel universe and hasn't really done anything outside of that. And it didn't really make any sense until we started kind of unpacking these things, and it came from that question, man. It was just a simple question, bro. Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so crazy what we kind of low key, I guess, quote unquote, discovered, right? It's kind of like, man, the connective tissue, the threads that kind of weave their way to today, like the modern era of what we have going on. You know what I mean? So I was just, man, I was just blown away by like that one thing that you showed the other day, that classic picture there. You know what I mean? Do you have that queued up? Do you have that available?
Yeah, it's in your pictures.
Yeah, the picture that kind of stuck out there to us, that was kind of like, how would this guy get access to this sort of a situation, this sort of a guy, right? Because we all know, like, the guy in the middle and the truth behind this guy and what he's all about, right? It's not even an alleged thing. It's I'm gonna say alleged because whatever. I'm just a small channel, but that guy in the center there was involved in some pretty wild stuff, to say the least, and pretty gross things. Now, I'm not saying just being in the picture associates him with these things, but it is interesting, that this guy, this random person, would be even anywhere near anybody that powerful, is what I'm saying,
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And I was like, yo, what the hell? I was like, yo, in 1998? Like, bro,
Yeah.
what the hell? Like, what the hell would that guy have been doing there in 1998? But, it just, hey, you start asking certain questions, and then, you get certain answers.
Definitely. So let me go ahead and pull this up just as a visual aid, right? something that we've been piecing together behind the scenes, looking at it all. How would you like to start this, by the way?
Look, I'll say this, because I'll go ahead and I'll let them in on kind of like how we started getting down this rabbit hole, right?
Right.
Because I kept coming back to, because as I spoke about on my stream, like, yo, Sean Gunn's like crashing out on Twitter, going at Zack Snyder fans and in people's mentions and stuff and saying all this crazy stuff. And I kept kind of coming back to that thought, right? While we were talking, I was like, yo, man, like that's like, why is Sean Gunn and Frank C's mentions, bro? I was like, it just doesn't make any sense. And the conversation kept like drifting off, and then it would eventually kind of venture back to that, right? And then I'm like, yo, why the hell is Sean Gunn and Frank C's mentions? And I was like, yo, which one of them is older, right? Because I had kind of forgotten which one of them is the older sibling. And I looked it up. I was like, yo, who is older? And not only did it tell me what or which of them were older, but it also, on top of that, it spoke about all of his siblings. And then it was like, wait a minute, all of his siblings work in Hollywood. It's not just him and Sean.
Right.
Right. And then I was like, oh shit, this is kind of what we've been like. This is the smoking gun, as you would say, right? Like it kind of showed like, yo, this is probably why this guy is so tapped in. And then you immediately see the picture of him with Hugh Hefner in 1998, because that's that came after that. And I was like, yo, what the hell? Like, why the hell is this guy with this dude in 98? And then that led to another piece of information that really started to link everything. And yeah, I don't know if you want to get into the Buffy thing yet, but
yeah, for sure. And at first I was like, I don't know if I want to save that, but that was too damn interesting. I remember when because you kind of found this. No, not even kind of. You did find this. And I was like, man, way over here in the 2000s, we got Joss Whedon. He names one of his characters from Buffy after the Gunn brothers, specifically Sean and James Gunn.
Sean and James. I was like, wait a minute. The character on Angel, Charles Gunn, was based on James and Sean. And I was like, wait, whoa. Right?
Right. And I know people are like, what significance would that make? I mean, it makes plenty significance if you dive deeper into the machinations of how DC Films was created. And it seems like all along there may have been some looming individual that's probably always been a part of this situation since the beginning. He's had connections.
That was in 99, bro. That show came out in 99.
Right. He's had connections via his brothers who were more powerful than him. He's had connections via Joss Whedon, a guy who's been in the nerd ecosystem forever.
Let me correct that real quick, because I actually had gotten some more information on that. So I want to make sure that we're correct, right?
Absolutely.
Sean and James were the first ones that kind of traveled out. The other two followed after, right? And Sean was really the one that kind of broke through as an actor first, and then that's when everything just started kind of filtering out, and everybody started coming in. But it's not only just the four male siblings, they also have a cousin that is in Hollywood as well, and is like super tapped in. So no, their roots go deep in this whole thing, and it's definitely been a situation where they may have been looming in the background for much longer than we thought.
Right, to the point that there really isn't much room for failure. It's just or not even room. It doesn't leave any sort of moment to really fail. Once you stumble, you're gonna land on a cousin or a brother or somebody in Hollywood that's gonna protect you and keep you on the up and up. Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there are definitely like more kind of ties to this whole thing that we're going to kind of talk about later. But I definitely want to say that first, the influence of James Gunn and Joss Whedon on DC has been much understated, I believe, to this point.
100%. So, with that being said, I kind of wanted to go through just a quick history, a timeline of how everything has gone down, you know. And we're all familiar with this stuff, man. Batman versus Superman is in development around August 2001. We got Josh Whedon hired for Wonder Woman around March 2005. Batman Begins starts. Superman Returns flops. We got Zack Snyder's 300. And then you have Iron Man, Marvel's Avengers Initiative Phase 1 begins. And with this starts to pretty much give Warner Brothers this kind of a kick in the ass, like, okay, we've been doing well with the Batman franchise, but then comes Marvel and Paramount and Universal coming together to create something that has never been heard of. We'll see what they can do and we'll see how successful it is before we start pouring into it. What I did keep, because this timeline could have gone on forever with
Oh
mad
yeah.
details, right? I did leave off the timeline incidentally was that Justice League had started to develop around this time frame as well, right? Justice League from George Miller. And
Yep, Justice League Mortal.
correct. And the reason that got kind of stopped was the writer's strike, a couple of other things too. But another factor was Christopher Nolan was not keen on having two Batmen at the same time, especially when he's releasing The Dark Knight and he's developing the third movie of the trilogy that he was developing. So that was one thing that was left off, right? Also in this time frame, we have Joss Whedon, who is still looming, right? And this is me throwing this in, rumors of James Gunn kind of looming around Marvel as well, right?
Yep. Especially between 2008 and 2010, because in 2010 is when they started picking the directors, if I'm not mistaken, or that's when it was announced that Josh was going to be helming that one. So yeah, but he was definitely looming in the background because he and Feige had already, or they were already, Feige was aware of who James was at that point, 100%.
Absolutely. So the Dark Knight
Feige,
releases.
who was also friends with Jeff Johns, that we can't really forget that either, right?
There's all these damn connections and threads.
Bro. Crazy, bro.
They were like college roommates or something, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. And Kevin Feige went on to produce some mildly successful Marvel films under like X-Men and stuff like that and other little things. And then he went off to do, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Obviously, that was, a little thing called Marvel Cinematic Universe. Might have been successful, right? Zack Snyder does Watchmen. And after that, the Man of Steel script is in development. This occurs when Chris Nolan and David Goyer hit a sort of a writer's block, right?
Mm-hmm.
It gives life to the Man of Steel script. Around this time frame as well, we have Jeff Johns becoming this is off the top of the dome. He's like the COO of DC, the comic end of things, right? And he also is trying to push his way into the DC film end of things. It doesn't become official, but that COO position, the CCO, co-creative officer position, I should say, is has some perks. He has a lot of input that he can give the DC film end of things. Whether they take that input or not is, whatever. But he can shake a couple.
They gotta listen to him, right?
To a degree. Like Warner Brothers can say, "Hey,
out.
he asked. You guys may want to consider this, right?" An extra added pressure to developing films, and thus starts the whole solo DC shared universe conflict, right? Around July 10th, so to speak. I try to be a little exact, but whatever. We'll just say July 2010. There's this whole conflict of like, do we go the shared universe route or do we not? We have Jeff Johns, who's buddy with Kevin Feige, or Feige, however you want to pronounce it, who is going in interviews saying that DC characters can stand on their own and create their own universes. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna pause there for a moment. What do you think about all that, Sky? Like, what are your thoughts, and where were you when these situations were happening?
Right, man. Back then, I was a huge Dark Knight fan. Dark Knight Rises, all that stuff, yo. And when a lot of this stuff was going down, I wasn't super into like all of the behind the scenes with the films and how they were made and all that stuff. But I do recall reading when Jeff Johns was making these statements about, it kind of being like, hey, DC can stand on its own. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? I'm like, when we got Iron Man and all this stuff being set up and they talking about a Avengers initiative over with Marvel, and you coming out talking about we just gonna be getting solo movies, like it really upset me. I was like, yeah, what the hell? Like, I want to see, Batman and Superman in the same film and all that, and it just really didn't make much sense, right? And I was like, yo, this is insane how like we are seeing the opposition do this, and they just seem to be kind of punting on third down or not even trying to make a shared universe work. And I just thought it was stupid, but obviously that's not the direction in which they went. So
yeah, the fact that it was even a conversation was strange. I remember when Sky and I were going over this stream and, little things. We're kind of winging this because it's just cool to wing it, plus we have lives. But just thinking about certain details, I remember I kept telling Sky, like, I'll never forget that. It's almost burned into my brain, like reading. I'm holding, because, the internet, we all remember clicking things and saving things and scrolling through things. I read this in a freaking magazine. I can't remember the magazine, but I remember reading, and I was just like, was it Empire? Might have been Empire. I was just like, what the hell? I'm like, yo, Jeff Johns is so freaking annoying. He's either playing to the company rules, which he doesn't have to do. He could easily been like, hey, I'm trying to convince them, but he was just straight up like, nah, Superman can be its own solo thing, and every character is so larger than life that they can have their own universe, which, hey, I get it. Props to saying that. But at the same time, like, you're dismissive of the Justice League forming. That's crazy as hell.
Crazy as hell, bro.
So I was just super disappointed. Like, man, I don't even know. So continuing on, that conflict's going on in the background, right? And actually in the foreground as well. Interviews were being had. Jeff Johns out there championing being solo for some strange reason. Whether the company was doing it or he was just, whatever, doing it on his own off the cuff. Maybe a combination of the two. Either way, it was out there, right? So Jeff Johns wanted to make GL a part of the big three. I put that in there because I remember several interviews in this time frame where he's almost like pushing Wonder Woman out of the big three for some strange reason. And my thoughts are that this would catapult him into more of a leadership role in a movie making, but it flopped. Like that thwarted his plans, because every interview I kept seeing him become more and more like he wants to be in charge and he wants to be the guiding force, because his buddy over there in Marvel, his stock is rising, his name is getting bigger, right? While at the same time, you have allegedly Kevin Feige going over notes with Whedon and one of them Gunn brothers. I'll just say that, right? So while this is happening, Jeff Johns is trying to cement Green Lantern as one of the big three. So it'd be Superman, Batman, and GL, right? And he even said in an interview that it's always pretty much been Green Lantern because his universe is so vast. That's some of the things that he would say. And this was all pretty much a prop Green Lantern, the film, if it was successful. You know what I mean? While at the same time telling everybody, I don't think we should go share the universe. So I never really understood like what are his motives for the characters. To me, it always seemed like he was trying to boost his own spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think Alan Belk pointed out that he had just did Rebirth at the time.
Oh, I'm gonna get there. I think I have that here. Yeah, he did Rebirth around that time, and then after Rebirth, suddenly we have the New 52 era, which was a Warner Brothers mandate pretty much to coincide with the new upcoming films around that time frame, because again, they got the Man of Steel script that was in development, right? They got the Solo. Should we do Solo? Should we do shared universe conflict looming in the background for some strange reason, even though they got Marvel having major success around this short period of time, right? Success as far as conversation, box office wise, they're doing pretty good. They're not doing spectacular outside of Iron Man, but they're doing pretty good numbers, right? Conversation wise, because it's like, oh, wow, Thor, Cap, et cetera, like, what's up? Green Lantern flops in between all this. That kind of kills certain plans, but it propped up and boosted Man of Steel. That was going to be their, like, all right, this thing failed. We got Man of Steel filming that's beginning, right? We got this New 52 mandate that's occurring. We're going to get rid of the trunks. We're going to streamline it to make them look like they can go on screen. They don't have to be exact, like carbon copies of something that needs to go on screen, but it looks like something fresh and new, because we got a new era coming with this DC Entertainment, right? After that, we got Nolan Stop Snake in the Garden. I titled it that. So this is information from me that I've said over the years, right? A colleague of mine has a conversation with Jeff Johns. He and Jeff Johns were about as tight as a comic book shop, a major comic book shop owner, because it wasn't just a comic book shop, it was like a major comic book shop. That was so dope. It had like a bar in the back. We used to have parties. Like, this was like the most club version.
Sound lit, bro.
Shit was lit. You know what I mean? Like, if you can imagine, like, when Sky and myself and others have gone to like a Zack Snyder event, imagine that, but with more illegal paraphernalia and yeah, it just went down. You know what I mean? So he was popular. So a Jeff Johns, you know, he would be attracted to that sort of a person who owns something like that in a nerdy, geeky community where it gets popping. So they exchange numbers. I overhear conversations because this guy, a former old colleague of mine, he's bragging about knowing Jeff Johns. So I'm overhearing conversations about Jeff Johns wanting to take over. But that didn't happen because Christopher Nolan froze him out in order for Zack Snyder to get clear way for the Man of Steel process, right? and then The Dark Knight Rose. Let me pause for a moment. So what do you think about all that, man? What are your thoughts on that?
Nah, I've always thought that was a key piece of information that you added in was is the whole thing with Jeff Johns kind of having that conversation and getting that knowledge that, you know, he was kind of being frozen out by Nolan and that just that he was trying to take over from back then, right? Like, you know, it just showed that this whole jockeying for position thing and trying to, you know, everybody trying to get in on Superman or like to get in on this DC thing, and just the links that they were willing to go through to try to wrestle it away from Zack, right?
100%. Yeah, 100%, man. And that shit pissed off a lot of, you know, the comic book community of writers and artists who really wanted to get in, you know, into this situation, because I'm just assuming they were hearing that, you know, a studio is in development and you got a fresh new Superman coming out. You got Marvel kicking ass. Like, everybody can read the tea leaves and see where this shit is going, right? So everybody's trying to attach their hooks to this new Superman movie and give feedback. And Zack's a nice dude. He's nice now. He was way nicer then. He was willing to bend so that people can, I was going to get to that. Bend so that people can, no, you're good. So that people can kind of, you know, get in where they fit in, right? Nolan, seeing this and being a protective producer, stepped in and was like, no, thank you. We need to get these nerds out of the situation. And that's almost a verbatim quote. I'm just going to say allegedly, but
yeah,
Chris Nolan wasn't playing with him. You know what I mean?
Oh man, we got to meet Jamar with the $20 super chat saying, if WB execs didn't come breathing down Zack's neck during this time with DC, would Zack have gone with the Man of Steel trilogy a la Dark Knight trilogy, or go with the 5-part quintilogy Man of Steel to BVS to JL 1, 2, and 3?
I'll answer that question after the drop, because I actually have some thoughts on that and information that I've heard over the years on that. But let me get to this drop. What drop? You don't have access to your drops, right?
No.
Gotcha. StreamYard, take notes.
Well, if I change it, it's going to change the background and everything. So
yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
But there should be something that, you know what? How about this?
There's something really interesting with this character that I find fascinating, which is that he genuinely really does just want to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. But everywhere he goes, whether it's a new town or a new bar, people just kind of give him a hard time and they rag on him despite the fact that he has great intentions. I'm curious if that's comparable to this sort of world, this culture of toxic fandom, where like if you make a movie, especially if you make a superhero movie, like you have great intentions, but there are always going to be a small yet vocal group of people there can kind of just be toxic.
I understand what you're saying, but when it comes to fans, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have. And people are going to be upset because, especially when you're talking about books or games, because you're never going to be the exact person who they had in their head or who they played on Witcher 3, for example. I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passionate.
Shout out to Henry, bro.
Shout out to the GOAT.
Not taking the bait. You know what I mean?
Facts. And that's how you answer a question, folks, with authenticity and respect. So to answer your question, I can almost say with absolute certainty and a fact that Zack Snyder was going to do sequels that literally mirrored classic sequels of old, like a Man of Steel 2 or a Superman of Tomorrow, something to that effect, right? That was going to occur, but Warner Brothers quickly stepped in, and they always have a Batman itch up their ass. So, you know, I don't blame them. I'm a huge Batman fan, but this Superman movie definitely showed that like there's new life being breathed into this character, right? So let's give it a shot. And they did, but in their own way, they said, we got to include Batman next. And Zack, being the team player that he is, and sorry, Zack, I know this sounds like a bit of a diss, and I'm not calling Zack a liar or anything, but he definitely pivoted and started to say that he always was going to have Batman in it. And that may be true to a degree, but to the degree in which he did, definitely got changed by Warner Brothers. That was a Warner Brothers decision. And I would look Zach in his face and say this face to face. And he probably would be like, no, no, no. And I'd be like, you're lying. Because I was there hearing the conversations, bro. Like, I remember this shit. Y'all have no idea. Ask Sky. I was going back to accounts that I hadn't touched in years. I was like, oh shit, this account still exists where there's details that I literally typed out because I was such a huge nerd about all this shit. Because I'm like, yo, we about to get the DC universe. Yeah. So I'm like, nah, I'm keeping track of all these details. And there's certain notes that I wrote down from way back in the day, or typed in, I should say.
Yep.
So now I know for a fact that we're going to do a Man of Steel 2. And Warner Brothers came in, you know what I'm saying, at the last hour and was like, we got to include Batman and it has to be like big. And so, you know, they tapped into this essentially. They tapped into this time period. Batman versus Superman that was in development. The Batman versus Superman that you saw on what movie was that? I Am Legend, the billboard of I Am Legend. That kind of gave a nice wink at that. That's where this all started as far as Batman versus Superman. It's not the same movie, obviously, but that was there from that time frame, right? And then obviously it never came to fruition, right? So yeah, that's a great question, by the way, J Mar. Thank you for that. So let me slide back over here before I put the timeline back up to here. So we got The Dark Knight Rose, Avengers Assembled. We all know the tragedy that kind of unfortunate tragedy that occurred and kind of spooked people from going to theaters. But this movie, the Dark Knight Rises, that I just said, The Dark Knight Rose,
fire movie, bro.
Not only that, but it was tracking to beat the Avengers in the box office, which is insane.
I remember.
It was crazy.
But all of a sudden, they made AAA, right? All of a sudden,
yeah,
crazy,
absolutely.
And then it got blamed on the movie, which it had nothing to do with. Crazy.
The media was just literally like, we're just gonna call this guy Joker, even though he looked nothing like him and he never mentioned Batman at all. It just so happened that he went to a popular movie to do something,
and he had orange hair, right?
Right. So it's like, of course he's gonna go to a popular
movie. The Joker don't even wear orange hair. He doesn't even have orange hair. Crazy.
Facts. Crazy. Didn't have red lips. Nothing about him was like Joker. He just almost said something that was that's probably politically incorrect. I almost said he looks like a modern day liberal. Oops, I said it. Anyway, Man of Steel, Man of Steel wraps around August 2nd. Man of Steel wraps up, and let's see if it's gonna pick this up. Did it pick this up? Give me 1 second. Let me stop sharing for a moment and get to this other timeline here. Yeah, we was putting in work, y'all. My goodness.
Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got Sin Havoc, 5150, Integrity, Mama Bear Dog, we got Game City Savior. We got Rhea in the chat, man. Y'all be sure to go smash the like button and make sure that y'all check out that Sit Down with Skywalker number 7, featuring Rhea, the Glimmering Harpy, dropping on Tuesday. That is a super dope stream that I'm very proud of. And yeah, we dropped the HMDS Sit Down last night. Hey man, it's going up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we on right now. We got cartoons and cereal in the morning. Like, what's going on, dog?
You mentioned Bishop. I see Bishop.
No, I didn't even see Bishop in here. What's going on,
Bishop? Yeah, Bishop.
Yeah, what's going on, Bishop D.M. Williams? You dig?
Nessa, did you say Nessa? She in the building? I just see her now.
Nessa, hey, what's going on?
That's what's everybody no pop though. That's what's up. Showing love to the Syndicate Network, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all. We got Carlos Lopez. I'm not familiar with that name, but shout out to you. He said something in Espanol, I'm assuming. Desde Argentina, che? No? Or is that Portuguese? You have to correct me on that, Carlos. Gunn out, he's saying, basically. I agree with that. 100%. Gunn out. He should be out. Let's see.
And tomorrow is Zack Snyder's birthday. Yep, it's up.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It's up.
You know, Gunn asked Snyder about the white
Bill Reeves, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah. So far, man, what do you think about this timeline thus far? It's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, and look, here is my thing, right? Is that as we're kind of getting to right now, there's obviously all this connect, and we ain't even got to the BVS script yet, but if you look at it, there's all this connection between like James Gunn and Joss Whedon and fucking Kevin Feige and Jeff Johns. It's like there's this little circle, you know, that seems to just all. It's like, yo, Jeff Johns and Kevin Feige were roommates in high school. Joss Whedon is fucking directing the fucking Avengers movie, and he has characters named after James and Sean Gunn from way back in '99.
Right.
Joss Whedon even went to James's wedding.
Yep.
Right. So no, like there's clear, right, and James Gunn is already in contention for doing something fucking related with Marvel, right? Joss Whedon had already been working on a DC movie, right? And we ain't even got the BVS and then Justice League, and then who the fuck replaced Zack Snyder, right? And then it's like, yo, man, this shit was crazy, bro. And Sin Havoc said that timeline is correct, right? See, I'm telling y'all, man.
For sure. Yeah, no, you're right, man. Hopefully people kind of are picking up what we're trying to put down here, man. Like, this isn't some conspiratorial nonsense. Like, these guys all know each other and they're all connected. And it's just rather odd that they are, you know? So in the continuation of the timeline, I have Zack Snyder begins Batman v Superman script outline.
Hey, wait a minute. Y'all want another little nugget of information? Right?
Yeah.
Matt Gunn, one of James Gunn's siblings, or is Matt the cousin? I don't remember. Yeah, Matt might be the cousin, but Matt is an adjunct professor or an adjunct associate professor at, guess where, people? Art Center College of Design, where the fuck Zack Snyder went to school at.
Say that one more time.
The Art Center College of Design, where Zack Snyder went to school at, and also has donated a fucking theater there that we got to go see 2 films in.
Yep.
BVS and Man of Steel.
Yep.
Right. So crazy. Right. I don't know if they were there at the same time. I ain't saying that, but there's there's all kind of little wires that are connected in this tangled web we weave.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, imagine we was like that Charlie Day meme, like where you just like, yo, what the right? Oh my god. And shout out to Rhea. Give 5 memberships, you know what I'm saying? Man, I cannot wait till y'all see that conversation with Rhea. It was so dope.
Shout out to Rhea. Much appreciated. And we're so glad to see that you are still active. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like me. Don't retire. No, don't retire.
Yeah. We definitely talked about it. You know?
That's what's up.
Rhea gonna be around a whole lot more often.
I'm gonna give her a couple of drops for this one. Let me do a proper drop. You know what I mean? Let's see. A
lot of announcements from about DC and about the DC extended universe and about what they're gonna do with the movies. You know what I would prefer? Content. Like, I don't think anyone has ever gone to an IMAX to watch a press conference or to like read Twitter. It's like, great, awesome. I'm glad you guys have all of these plans. Shut up and go execute them.
Exactly. And over here, we treat you better. The Syndicate Network will treat y'all better. You know what I
We
mean?
will treat you so much better than those shit fucks down the street.
Right? Yeah. Hey, we got open arms over here.
Open arms, baby. Thank you, Rhea. You are much appreciated. Much appreciated. Let me check out the chat a little bit more. It's such a packed house. I love it. Game City Savior is in here cracking me up, bro. Word. So moving on to the timeline again, right? Let's see. We got Zack Snyder begins Batman versus Superman script outline. He started the outline. Let me see. Zack outlines the basis for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice after the release of Man of Steel, right? The Man of Steel releases. Zack Snyder begins the DC shared universe, affectionately known as DC Extended Universe. Ben Affleck is cast as the Batman. Zack Snyder cast arguably, this is me, arguably the greatest live action version of Batman and Bruce Wayne. The internet loses their collective minds. Not me, though, and they soon eat their words. You know what I mean? And then not too long after that, in between, or somewhere around this time frame, we have rumors abound of a potential script leak. Zack Snyder and Ben Affleck call on the talented Chris Terrio to do an extensive rewrite. Now, this is around the time that Jeff Johns was really allegedly trying to poke his nose into family business, because it didn't work on Man of Steel, right? It didn't work at all. Christopher Nolan kept him out. Christopher Nolan, I forget the movie that he was doing around that time frame, but what was it? Was it Inception? Or was it?
Yes. Wait, in 2000, what? Interstellar came out in like 20.
Because he was working on it, and he was.
Interstellar came out in 2014.
Okay. So what movie was it? He was working on something, and he basically was telling Zach like he can't, like he couldn't help him the way he did before. You know what I mean? Because he was deep in the weeds.
Was it Dunkirk?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, because Dunkirk came out in 2017.
Right. So Zach has less protection around this time period. And then you have the growing development of what becomes DC Films. Jeff Johns and John Berg head DC Films, overseeing the DCEU. Power corrupts. So around this time period, let me put that up on the screen. Around this time period, going back to here, though, DC Films was in development in the background. So you have Jeff Johns, who's buddies with Kevin Feige, who Jeff Johns before was trying to say they were going to do Solo for some strange reason, who was also trying to get Green Lantern off the ground and a part of the big three, and that flopped. You see Jeff Johns trying to put himself in positions of power, right? And with that power, he's trying to water DC down to where they can mirror what Marvel looks like more and more. And because he wasn't able to do that, or allegedly, I don't know, the script leaked weirdly around the same time frame that Jeff Johns is trying to claw his way up to the top. I'm not saying he leaked it,
but it leaked around the same time. You know what I mean?
100%. There was also, and there was also rumors that Jeff Johns was having conversations with Joss Whedon and having conversations with one of them Gunn brothers, allegedly. Yep. This is all happening around the same time that this was happening. So you have Zack Snyder trying to develop a movie because, all right, the details that we kind of knew as fans, the rumor was it going to be Metallo? because I forget the gentleman who played as the guy who lost his legs. I forget his name.
Yeah, what is his name?
He was in Argo too. But
oh my god,
he's one of Ben's hires. Like Ben likes to put him in his movies. That gentleman, he was allegedly supposed to play Metallo.
Scoot McNairy.
Scoot McNairy, yeah. And after the script leak,
Metallo.
yeah, what's interesting about this is like Zach probably would have gave us one of the more comic booky versions of the situation than what we got. That script leak actually
changed everything.
And it helped.
It brought Terrio in. Yep.
It made it more politically charged. It felt like an indie film disguised as a blockbuster. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, that's absolutely true, right? That script getting leaked led to Ben Affleck bringing in Chris Terrio, who had worked on Argo, which had won Best Picture. You know what I'm saying? So that guy definitely knew what he was doing. So yeah, man, it's crazy how all this is going on in the background, bro. You got script leaks and all these things, and it's just the same people that are kind of hovering around all these things. It's the circle of Kevin Feige, Jeff Johns, you know what I'm saying, James Gunn. It's like, bro, they're all cool, man. And this is crazy, bro.
So one should ask themselves, like I understand, I get it. It's like, well, you guys are saying a lot of alleged this and alleged that. Here's my thing. Around these parts in the Syndicate Network, we don't really believe in coincidence.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like Jeff Johns being cool with Kevin Feige, who one of his right-hand men was Joss Whedon, and the other one is James Gunn. And James Gunn and Joss Whedon are tight, going to each other's like weddings and birthdays and all this other stuff. And alleged other parties.
Joss
Anyway,
brought in after Zack Snyder is kicked. Like, come on, man.
Right.
Like,
so it's like, so you're telling me the only thing that separates Jeff Johns over at DC from the rest of these guys is what, the brand? No, I don't think so. Jeff Johns went as far as to do interviews with Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
After he is given the reins, or not even given the reins, after the creation of, I should say, DC Films.
Yep.
He goes on an interview sitting right next to the competition. At the time, Kevin Feige or Kevin Feige, the big dog out of the two. And Jeff Johns looking like some sort of a fangirling over Kevin Feige.
He a fan.
It's so weird. So after that, after the start of DC Films, obviously we know what happened from there. We have a lot of successes in the DCU.
Hold on.
Go for it, brother.
Real quick. Sin Havoc said at that time Peter Safran was working in Universal.
Yep.
Which also, I didn't know Peter Safran was also James Gunn's manager.
Yep.
Bro, I was like, what the bro, his old manager is co-head with him. I'm like, bro, come on, man. Come on now, dog. Come on, man. Come on.
Crazy. Yep. And we still know that around this time frame, there's still butting heads going on behind the scenes. I forgot the part where in Batman versus Superman, Ben Affleck got pissed off at the fact that the script leaked, number one. Oh my God, I'm jumping way ahead. Because if you think about it, we forgot the main thing about that whole Batman vs. Superman script leak. Who benefited from that, Sky?
Oh yeah, Marvel did.
Good Lord.
Right? Marvel, bro. Nah, man.
Can you tell the people why?
Right? because not only did that give them the opportunity to pivot, as you see that they did, but not only pivot, but they copied a bunch of that damn movie and turned it into Civil War.
And the Russo brothers even went as far as to say that they got inspiration
from Batman versus Superman.
Civil War from Batman versus Superman.
Before
I
it
asked
came
the
out.
audience, facts. I asked the audience, how does one gain inspiration from a film that has not come out yet? That's going to be coming out around the same time when it's finished.
Yeah.
Unless
I remember that whole remember that whole thing that they were supposed to drop like around the same time, and
yep,
they was, oh my god, who's gonna move, and then BVS ended up moving up, right? Yeah, I remember that. I remember
100%.
I remember, and yes, they're shocked. She's like, his manager, yes, he was his manager.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, we did some digging, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
100%.
Oh yeah, man. It's crazy because, like, I can't believe I was about to skip over that point. That was like, I've been saying that for years about the whole Civil War thing, and people still try to act like that's, strange. I think people started to come around once Endgame dropped, because Endgame sounded a hell of a lot like the plans that Zach had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It sounded like the second and third movie kind of rolled into one. That's what it seemed like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. So after the whole Batman vs Superman script leak, they have to fix the script. It becomes what is now known as Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition, etc., etc. Was it Gunn was whispering to Kevin? Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't trying to get you to read that, bro. I just
no. I'm glad he's saying that, because again, he's looming.
Yeah, but it's like Sin Havoc was absolutely right. That's what I was trying to tell y'all. And Leon, did I or did I not say? I was like, bro, I almost just want to make Sin Havoc proud with this stream, bro. I was like, because he been saying that shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
So around this time frame that's occurring, you got BVS script leak. BVS becomes basically the indie film disguised as a blockbuster. It goes on to be very successful. And real quick, they pulled BVS out of theaters early and told everybody that they were going to drop the Ultimate Edition on DVD, on physical media. What were you going to say, Scott?
Look at his comment, bro. He said Ann Campion's homegirl, who was supposed to be Wonder Woman, told him what BVS was about, and he blabbed about it. You remember that too, bro?
Yes, bro.
And then on top of that, Gunn, Feige, and Campia kind of all got a relationship. It's like, yo, this shit is crazy, bro.
Yes, and that's the thing that we're trying to get people to understand. Like, it sounds wacky, to steal a word from James Bum, but there's all these tendrils and these tentacles that are attached throughout Hollywood, in this specific corner of Hollywood, this nerd, geek, comic book film corner, right? Where there's all these people, I don't want to say the guy's name, but he does reviews, I'll just say that. And he used to be really high on Zach. Now he's not. Because, Civil War was kind of boring. He used to be kind of high on Zach, but he's not anymore because of his connection with James Bum. There's all these people that kind of flip the script on how they talk and discuss Zach because of, their connection and ties and friendship with a James Bum. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my bad. I was reading something. Can't be a what? Can't be a wanted.
Yeah, it was Jamie Alexander who was in Lady Sif. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. And they were going on talking about Gal Gadot's weight and her physique and all this other BS. I remember that.
Crazy. And straight up just blabbed about what the movie was. Like, yo, who the hell does these type of things, bro? Especially back then. right? Like, what none of them people trying to scoop these movies like that, bro?
Nope.
They weren't like telling people what the fucking Civil War time or what Civil War was going to be about or any of these other films, even though they knew.
Yep.
They were shown footage and all kind of shit. Oh yeah, I mean, right? That damn Captain America set visit, bro. Did it all.
That and another set visit. So we have the successes of all these DCEU films, right? We got Wonder Woman, we got Suicide Squad. That was a huge success for being some like strange unknown thing that has a couple of characters that are notable. And it goes on to get like damn near 800 mil. I think it was crazy. Wonder Woman goes almost 900 mil. BVS was tracking for $1 billion before they took it out of theaters too early. It goes on to be $1 billion success in other ways and other avenues and other areas of merchandise and all this other stuff, right? Then we have Zach, who through it all is deep in the weeds with all these films because he has like an arc in mind of where he wants everything to begin and end. And in between all this, they're trying to say that he's either disappointing or it's not a success, right? They keep coming at him and saying, this is how much money we need. This is how much money we need, right? King Omar just said something perfect. Suicide Squad got that much money without China. Crazy. Freaking crazy.
Crazy.
But yeah, we have Jeff Johns, who was always chumming it up with Joss Whedon and James Gunn and Kevin Feige or Kevin Feige, right? Jeff Johns is chumming it up with these guys. He's also giving all these notes to Zach and also Ben while he's writing his script for Batman. And everybody's getting pissed off. Everybody's getting frustrated because basically they're trying to water DC down to be Marvelized, essentially, right? The family tragedy happens with the Snyder family. Zach leaves the Justice League project. And the guy who has been looming all along with other guys, suddenly comes in, who, by the way, I saw a couple of articles that did not get a lot of fire, but around that time period, before Zach left, I distinctly remember seeing articles that Joss Whedon was around giving pointers. And I always thought that was odd because I was like, that's the Avengers guy. Like,
yeah,
what are we doing?
Yeah.
Some people kind of liked it because he's the Avengers guy. Some people didn't. Family tragedy strikes.
Yeah, because he was brought in to like help add some humor. Yeah.
And this was before.
Crazy. That was before Zach left. Yes.
Officially
100%,
left.
100%. So Joss Whedon is officially in the mix now.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
The same guy who is cool with James Gunn,
yep,
who is part of the MCU.
Yep.
Same guy, right? Because we know he's cool with James Gunn because he named some fucking characters after the guy in 1999.
Yep.
Which means he had to have already known him for quite some time, right? So, hey man, no. Like, yeah, Joss Whedon is brought in, and now we have the first like actual infiltration that had been successful.
Official.
Up to this point, yes.
Before it was like, and these things weren't necessarily quote unquote hidden per se, because there was no reason to fully hide them. It's just machinations going on behind the scenes that are being illustrated via interviews or being listened upon by people such as myself and others, right? Those that know people in the know. It's just kind of things we're hearing because we're very fascinated and interested in what's developing in DC and also Marvel at the time. And it just so happens that like all these different webs and strings lead to Jeff Johns, and James Gunn, right?
Yeah,
like they never left each other's side until one got fired.
Bro, because shortly after Justice League came out in 2017, they was already reaching out to James Gunn about doing Superman, which tells you that they was already thinking about replacing Zack Snyder.
Exactly.
Like forever. Like he was like officially gone. Because why the hell would you bring in James Gunn to do a Superman movie? They offered him Superman in 2018. He even said the shit. So
Yep.
Hey, I'm not going for that, bro.
Yep. And according to
right, because now the Trojan horse is in. So now you might as well just start. Hey, let's right. Josh is in there. He fucking gets to redo Justice League. Josh gets fucking brought on for Batgirl right around the same time is that they're offering James Gunn Superman.
Mm-hmm.
We don't.
This is around the time 2017, 2018. Yep.
Yes. Am I crazy, bro?
Not at all. Not at all. And this is after the middling success or lack thereof of Justice League, right? They're still keeping him around for some reason, right? And then we have James Gunn over at Marvel, who is becoming a little bit more of a force behind the scenes, developing.
He was in charge of the cosmic side of the DC. I mean, of the MCU. Kevin Feige hinted towards that several times. So he said, "Hey, James Gunn is kind of the one that is helping develop that cosmic side, the Guardians films, the later Thor films. He's the one that brought Taika Waititi in. You know what I'm saying? All that.
Yep. Meanwhile, over on the DC side of things, you have, after the whole debacle with Justice League, Aquaman comes out. They're invoking Zack's name and his approval so that we can go to theaters and watch Aquaman. That was like the first of its kind. Aquaman hits $1 billion. And after that, everything just starts to kind of fall off of a cliff for DC, and then at some point, I'm kind of bouncing around mentally. You got James Gunn's tweets get pretty much highlighted out of nowhere. I always wonder like how that happened. And in my conspiratorial thought processes, right, the way I theorized it was, I don't know, man, maybe that should happen on purpose. I don't know. Who knows? But
From what I was told, bro, they needed a reason to get rid of him. They needed a reason to send him to DC. They knew that DC was chomping at the bit to get him. That is why immediately after he was fired and then hired by WB, he was rehired by Marvel.
Bang. Exactly. Thank you.
Before his DC movie came out, he was already hired back at Marvel.
100%.
Absolutely.
It was almost like a contract severing of sorts so that they can renegotiate.
Oh no, they planned on getting him in, bro. This whole thing was like, we got to get him over there. And I'm gonna pretty much lay out how this thing was supposed to play out at the very end. I'm not sure if it's still going to play out that way because the Superman movie is probably gonna fucking bomb. But at the same time, there was 100% a breadcrumb trail there that has really led to where we are now.
100%. So where did I leave off in this timeline?
Well, we were around the time of after Aquaman. Oh,
so yeah. So everybody knows what happened after James Gunn tweets got quote unquote highlighted. I won't even say leaked because they had always been there, but for some reason they got highlighted. He gets fired by Disney Marvel and gets hired almost immediately by Warner Brothers. They put him on the Suicide Squad. And mind you, this is like after, isn't this around the same time that they're trying to court him towards doing Man of Steel 2 or a Superman film in general?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
And he allegedly turned it down.
All this is going on at the same time.
Because he even said it. He said, whoa, wait a second. He did say that. He said, It's not even a rumor. He literally said I had options. DC laid options out before me.
Yeah.
He chose the Suicide Squad because he's more comfortable dealing with ragtag bunches of people.
Yeah.
Those are his words essentially. I'm kind of
They just wanted him, bro.
paraphrasing.
They just wanted him
badly.
Badly.
Because you know, I'm assuming they heard about what he was doing over there at Marvel helping out Kevin Feige, but really my theory is probably similar to Sky's, if I'm not mistaken, is that it's not even like he was that talented. It's that he just has connections. And so it's like, you know, we're going to send him over there so that we can water down DC to connect to Marvel at some point, because we can't do this at this time the way Zach is doing it. We can't connect that to what we're doing. These look way too different. One is seriously taken, and another one is, you know, a goofball.
You know
thing.
What's so funny? Even when I mention that to general audience people, they get it. They all say, "Yeah, I don't think that would cross over well, bro." It's way too fucking different, bro.
It is.
It's way too different.
One feels like The Godfather, whether you like it or not. Literally, one feels like The Godfather, and the other one feels like something more akin to like a live action Pixar film. And that's not a diss on either one. That's not a praise for either one. I'm just telling you what they both feel like. You know what I mean?
The Suicide Squad would fit in though.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you think about it, you could pull that off.
Yep. Shazam probably.
Yep. You can pull that off.
What are the connective tissues to that, Sky? Who was the
Peter
producer?
Safran? Is that
Correct.
James Gunn's manager?
Correct.
Crazy, bro.
So then we have, after the Sujihara era, we have Peter Safran coming in, who also Sujihara was again taking notes from a Gunn, allegedly. Right? Like, so after they got kicked out, Safran comes in. Not that he comes in, sorry. He's producing he produced Aquaman, he produced Shazam, he produced quite a few things. Kevin Sujihara, Bell Rev. She said who? The people don't remember these names.
Right.
Don't ask us why we do. I'm not even reading off of anything. I'm literally just information off the dome at this point.
Yep.
So around this time frame, we have Peter Safran produced DC stuff. So come on, man. Like, let's hold your hand and walk you across this line here, audience. Right? Like, not saying this audience is smart. We're talking about the naysayers that are going to be out there, right? Peter Safran is one of is James Gunn's homie and manager, for crying out loud, at some point, or current, who knows? But they're definitely tight. They're thick as thieves. He's producing all these DC films, and now they got him over there officially. Like, obviously, something bigger was gonna happen. They're like aiming this guy towards certain things. They're like, you can take Superman, and he had to basically say no.
Fucking crazy, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Off of
the fact that they offered him
tweets
Superman,
like
bro, is crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Right?
That's crazy as shit. Like, even if you look at it now, the fact that he has this movie and has all this power, after literally making one good movie with a bunch of ideas that made the movie dope that didn't even come from him.
Right.
And then we're at this point where he's getting all this play. That's crazy, bro.
Facts. Which when did the Snyder Cut come out, by the way?
In 2021, right?
When did the Suicide Squad come out?
2021.
So then you have the Snyder Cut, right? This is the part that's crazy to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
You release the Snyder Cut.
Smash hit.
Smash fucking hit across the board. We're learning little by little by little, more and more each day, that the Snyder Cut was a massive freaking success. There's information leaking internationally from like China that they streamed. This is one of the biggest things they've ever streamed ever in their freaking lives, right?
Yeah, killed in game, smoked it, bro.
Right. So after that, instead of pivoting and saying, all right, we have to continue this thing, we get Ann Sarnoff coming out there trying to kill it, saying that it is, like Paulo just said, it's a freaking cul-de-sac on the same damn weekend. You have to think to yourselves, guys, like, why would they do such a thing? Well, because they have their little guy that's gonna come in and
their little pet project, right? You know, Gunn's The Suicide Squad. That's coming out.
The testing ground.
And we don't want no damn release the Snyder Cut, release the Ayer Cut bullshit, right? That's what they thinking. You know, we don't want none of that surrounding this movie. Don't you remember the trending day gets moved, bro, for this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
The release the Ayer Cut trending day.
Woo wee!
I have a
come
question.
On now.
So, dang, I forgot it. Somebody said something that made me think of something. Oh, Sky. So around that time period, you remember seeing how much, like globally, information-wise, we saw information from a lot of countries, correct? When it came to ZSJL.
Oh, from almost every other country outside of the US.
Bingo. So I forget her name. Before she left Warner Brothers, she called it a global phenomenon. Does anybody? I know Sin Havoc remembers. Sin Havoc, what's her name? That's all I gotta say. Sin Havoc, what's her name? She called it a global phenomenon. Yes, thank you, Venkata. Priya Dogra said it's a global phenomenon. Beautiful, right? Because it was.
Hey, but Sean Gunn said it wasn't successful though, right?
Crazy, right? So after the global phenomenon drops, all the numbers come out globally, and even for physical media, it's selling out every time it comes out of physical media around that time frame. Like it's selling out like crazy. And after that, they still pivot to things that are like the Suicide Squad. They greenlight Peacemaker that hits literally the highest point it got was YouTube numbers. And I wish I had that freaking screenshot.
Somebody earlier was one of them trolls was trying to say, oh yeah, Peacemaker had the most views on Max. I'm like, over
I'm about to find this right now.
Over the Penguin, dog? Like, is that what we talking about? That shit never even hit 1 million viewers, bro.
I hope I can find this.
See, and that's the thing. That's why the US never released no numbers for fucking ZSJL, bro.
Facts.
That's why, bro. Because they know that there'd have been no way to spend that shit. There'd have been no way to spend it.
None at all. Do me a favor, bro. You'll check out the chat while I look for this picture, because I have to find this because
I got you.
Yeah. I actually saw the numbers recently.
That's Harley in the back with the squeaky toy. You know what I mean? What's going on? Necessary to this day. Nah, man, this shit is crazy, bro. Like when we were sitting here looking at everything and was like putting this shit together, I was like, bruh, this don't make no sense, bro.
Let me ask you a question. If I sent it to you, would you be able to put it up quicker than me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I don't know, because
yeah, I got you. Shit, I found Peacemaker DVD in a Walmart bargain bin. That's where that shit belongs, bro. Says the US covered up the numbers of ZSJL. They absolutely did, Joe.
Shout out to Harley. I don't know why that's cute to me.
Right, man. And I don't want to put her up because I had her up a whole bunch of the day, and I'm like, man.
Nah, she good, bro. Hey, look, if James Gunn could put his dog in a dumb film, we can put our beautiful Harley on this awesome stream. I just sent it to you.
She said, "There's my puppy." All right, hold up. I'm gonna put this up. I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. So while Sky's doing that, because I as soon as we talked about this, I was like, yeah, I got to talk about these numbers for just a bit, man, because it does highlight what we're trying to illustrate, which is like, why does a person like this get in a position of power over a brand that was arguably bigger than any other brand of its kind before things got messed up, right? And as we asked ourselves these sort of questions, we just came upon these weird details, And so here are the numbers let me get this banner out the way. Actually, I could just leave the banner up because it's not covering up anything. So here go the numbers, guys. We got House of the Dragon coming in at 4.8 million. The Penguin, 3.2 million. Loki, boy, the Penguin did well. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Rings of Power, Moon Knight, what is that? TFATWS. I forgot what that is. Do you know?
I do not recall. TFA. I'm sure I can find out. Hold on.
We got Book of Boba Fett. Oh, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yo, Venkata. Venkata's on it today. The chat lit up with the answer, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Thank you, chat. Mandalorian, WandaVision, She-Hulk. So these shows actually do hit millions. That's interesting. Hawkeye, Ahsoka, Rings of Power. Rings of Power almost hit 1 million. That's crazy. Secret Invasion, The Witcher. Shout out to Henry Cavill that did my dog dirty over there. Ms. Marvel. Damn, Peacemaker didn't even outdo Ms. Marvel, bro. 638,000. That's crazy.
That is crazy,
bro. That's like a proper YouTube channel. Like, yo, hey, bro, you did fantastic. Talking about dating and the red pill and, how to unclog a toilet. That was awesome. You did
638K. Right? With what's his name? Judo Master, right? And fucking Vigilante.
Yeah.
And
fart jokes and that dumbass opening scene or theme song where they're dancing goofy. Amazing. Man. Bro, is that your king?
That ain't my king, bro.
Nah. It's crazy,
Kay Walton, James Gunn's not more successful than Zack Snyder at the box office. Zack Snyder, look at Batman v Superman and how well 300 did and all that stuff. Boy, I gotta tell you, James Gunn's fans, you guys are like, you're more aggressive. Let's just say more aggressive than even Snyder fans. And that's saying something. Woo! And you got a lot of free time, I must say.
What were we gonna say, bro? My bad.
Oh, I don't even remember, man. I don't even remember, honestly. But nah, he's all good. Oh, Joe Buck was gonna say, remember the DC Superman has a poop fetish, and I was like, bro, James Gunn's really been putting a lot of himself into this character, and I almost wonder if that is another aspect that he enters that might be from his own, personal life, bro. Bro, he got his dog in the movie. He got his wife, bro.
Why would the
Right?
guy with questionable tweets have not? Why would he not put his fetishes
You
in?
know,
Right?
why wouldn't he, bro?
You never know. So Samba TV, Dan, is they're like that company that accumulates data based on like different forms of entertainment, and then they put it out. In particular, streaming services they do it for. And people say, "Oh, they're not accurate." They've been pretty accurate with a lot of stuff. It's just that sometimes they piss people off with their accuracy, and sometimes they've been known to put out information early at the behest of certain studios to make certain things look bad. Because they've actually come out and praised the numbers for ZSJL. Are they allowed to give the amazing numbers? Probably not. Probably not. But they've gone out and praised the numbers for ZSJL, which is still in the top 4, not just 5, 4 of streamed pieces of content in certain countries today, like right now, to this day, by the numbers. Anyway, so we get past this. The weirdo has now entered. The smoking gun is now ablazed inside of DC. It's there now, right? Had his choice in movies. Chose the Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad flops hard, heavy. Peacemaker flops hard, heavy. And murmurs of the restoration of Zack's Snyderverse start to boil. We get a change in leadership in Warner Brothers. We get so many things happening all at once. David Zaslav is hinting at the Snyderverse being a priority of his. They even go as far as to rework a bunch of upcoming films to include Snyderverse characters that were not originally a part of these films. These are reshoots that occurred that end up not even happening because almost out of nowhere, we get the hiring of new DC heads. Now, DC Studios that was being created. DC Films is turning into DC Studios. We get that. I don't know where James Gunn and Peter Safran are now in charge. First thing everybody starts doing is they say, "Don't panic. He might restore the Snyderverse." Right? Because they've put so much work into putting Ben Affleck and Aquaman that we never got to see. Aquaman 2.
They made all those changes to the Flash, right? That we never really got to see.
Yep. I think Henry Cavill, he had other roles outside of Black Adam.
Yeah, that's why he walked away from The Witcher, allegedly. I mean, it seemed like it. Like the timing seemed like it lined up, right? Because it was right after he kind of announced he was going to be back as Superman. And we were supposed to be getting a Man of Steel 2, right? Which, oddly enough, has been rumored that this new Superman movie is like 85 to 90% fucking that old Man of Steel 2 script, which is what Mikey was saying.
Yep.
So hashtag Mikey was right again.
Man,
shit's crazy, bro. Telling you,
rest
man.
in peace.
Telling you, bro. Rest in peace to the big dog. Crazy, bro. This shit is crazy.
So now, what is it? The issue was Cowboy. Anyway, now I'm giving you the alley-oop because I think we're at the precipice of this, right? We're here. We know he's here. He's in charge now. We've kind of illustrated why he may be in charge, why he may have been given the reins to take over. We know what he's done, fired this one, lied about that one. We know that Henry Cavill comes through, does an interview saying, "I'm back, guys." Right? Releases social media content saying he's back. Is so many things are going on in the background, and then James Gunn says no to all of it. So, what are your thoughts, and where do we go from here, Sky? Where do we go from here?
Well, now we're at the point of true. This is the inflection point, right? Like, okay, so with James Gunn being head of DC Studios or co-head, mind you, he's creatively, it's him. Like, we can say that Peter Safran is there, but we know that Peter Safran is not creatively writing, you know what I'm saying, directing. No, this is James Gunn shit, right? So Peter's the money guy. He's like, all right, these gonna be the budgets probably and what have you. Right now, one thing that has been pretty apparent is that they've had all these Marvel people lingering around DC, and you would have to ask yourself why. I've always said, hey, it seems like they've been pushing towards this damn crossover, right? Which now with James Gunn firmly in the driver's seat, we're closer to that than ever before. He's even came out and made comments about, hey, like now the crossover is more possible now than it's ever been, right? They've been diluting these films quality wise, and having all of these people that were all kind of lingering and jockeying for fucking position, and it seemed like as soon as one of them got in, it was like, okay, this is just gonna be the one that's gonna do it, right? So James Gunn takes over head of DC Studios. Now this crossover is super close. They got this damn crossover in the comic books coming out, right? And not only that, right? But you also have Kathleen Kennedy stepping down, right, from Lucasfilm. I am aware that she came out recently and tried to kind of walk back the rumors of her retiring, but allegedly that is still happening. She even kind of confirmed it that she still have had those conversations, right? So
she came out and jump scared us,
huh?
I said she came out and jump scared us,
right? Somebody wanted it out. She tried to kind of walk it back, but still kind of admitted it, right? It's been rumored that Kevin Feige is going to be the one that's taking over Star Wars, potentially, right? Or that they want that to happen too, right? Yes. So then that would lead. Well. Hey, who's going to be head of Marvel if Kevin Feige goes to Star Wars, right? And that is where, hey, James Gunn could potentially, right, be the king of two castles, as it was said to me even back then, right? So, oh my God, like they've been trying to look, this whole devaluing of the brand or IPs, I think has clearly been a play for Disney to try to be able to be in a position to buy DC. I know people keep like downplaying that possibility, but DC, something even just happened recently that pretty much precedes Warner Brothers being able to sell off a whole bunch of shit. So like they're preparing to start selling shit, right? So if Disney is interested in DC, like why wouldn't they be, right? They already got the Marvel shit. Why wouldn't they want all their toys in one toy box? Why wouldn't they want Batman being able to have a crossover with Iron Man and all of these things? And I think that what you've seen allegedly, just in my opinion, has been like some long-term corporate espionage shit to try to get this whole situation where Disney can buy DC, and then we end up with this crossover, and James Gunn, the King of Two Castles, is able to reign over all the comic books as it was betrothed and, you know, passed down from generation upon generation. He's the guy that they've picked, and it's crazy, bro. It's crazy how all this shit has played out, right? Like, you literally got this guy who is super protected, who ain't really done shit outside of Marvel. Like, name one thing he has done outside of Marvel that's been successful like that.
Two things, right?
Right?
Two things that I'll say real quick to add to what you're saying to maybe get you to delve in a little deeper. One, we knew that James Gunn and Peter Safran were heads of DC before other people did. What I can't remember.
Yeah. Right.
So we knew that first. We knew that Justice League was killed before everybody. And the third thing that I was going to add is that The Rock was trying to not necessarily take over, but it's The Rock. He probably was going to try to take over. And he was trying to take over in ways that were going to be more beneficial for the Snyderverse. And that's the reason why when Gunn got in charge, he did not promote at all Black Adam, and he froze The Rock out. And there was kind of like a civil war going on in the midst of that. And, you know, that's why The Rock kind of pivoted away. Not even kind of, he pivoted away. And then all these hit pieces came out after that.
Yeah, man. No, that definitely happened. And you know that this is true because, as Leon just said, yeah, the guy who we was rocking out with, right? The one who can't stop covering all that bullshit over there. No, he knew. He admitted that he knew that that James Gunn was head of DC way before way before it came out. And so I'm like, yo, like, you know, why could we know all this other bad shit before it happened? But if this was fucking kept from us, so they knew, man, there was never a chance that they were gonna let this slip away, bro. Like, and this is why you have continued to see WB and Warner Brothers and Warner Media and all these entities over these past few years. Every time that they had a chance to compete, they punted the ball. Each and every single time. Each and every single time that they have had a chance to compete, they punted the ball and didn't even try, which makes you wonder why. Like, how the hell does that even happen? Right? It makes no sense. It makes no sense, right? And when you look at who this whole, like, you have to ask, who does all these fumbles and missteps, who does it help? Right? Like, if you go back to 2016, 2017, WB and DC were keen to take over the superhero genre, bro. Like, and then all of a sudden, all of these people that they had brought in that was super dope, right? All that stuff, they just got rid of everybody and then just pivoted in the middle of telling a story. Right?
Absolutely.
Crazy, man.
I was just reading Nate's memes, adding some details there. I heard about that too. But Rock kind of wanting that crossover, that MCU DC EU crossover. You know, I would take that. I would take that in a heartbeat over what we got now. MCU DC EU crossover. If they could somehow make that work. Could you imagine, directed by Zack Snyder and the Russo brothers, all as a team? I don't think, man, that would have been insane. I don't care what anybody says. about Marvel. I'm not the biggest Marvel fan at all. I would be hyped for that. All three of them on set, laughing it up, having a good ass time, learning some shit from Zach. 'Cause you already know they're gonna learn from the GOAT. But yeah, bro. Thank you for laying that out, man. For sure.
Yeah, bro. Is this shit has been like this long thing of like, and even going back to, I think all this shit started on Dawn of the Dead, bro, because allegedly like that script was significantly reworked and was turned more into like an action heavy film, like
Yep.
Zach is kind of known for. And yeah, Zach just went on to have a dope career. You know what I'm saying? And he was still over there making Slither and all that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Nah, you're right. I mean, and look, like I get it. It sounds conspiratorial, blah blah blah. I don't know. To me, it doesn't. Obviously, that's why we're having this stream.
Hey,
I know.
I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like, think what you want, say what you want.
I
Because
don't
at the
give
end
a
of the
shit.
day, who would have thought? Like, after finding this, right? This is crazy. After finding this, you know what I mean? Like, hold on, my bad. Let me see. After finding this, you know what I mean? Joss Whedon names character after Gunn brothers. That's crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
that was crazy, bro. That was crazy. I'm like,
That's
in
crazy.
99, I was like, what the fuck?
That's
like, yo,
crazy.
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Nah, and a whole lot of this came from these little nuggets of information. Really, just that first time that I Googled, and I was like, wait a minute, like, who is the white? Which one of them is older? And then I saw that all of the siblings are in Hollywood, and the sister's a lawyer. Their dad was a lawyer too, right?
So you have to ask yourselves, like,
crazy.
He hasn't had the success that would garner becoming head of like literally anything. So when we say upward failure, when we say smoking gun, like, it sounds funny. It's cute, but there's a reality to it. How does a one James Gunn keep being mediocre to flat, and now he's head of one of the greatest, biggest brands in history? And hopefully after this conversation, maybe you're not convinced, but at least maybe at the very least, you're thinking a little deeper about all this, right? And you're asking yourself the same questions. And hey, maybe you'll come up with some different answers than we gave you. Maybe you can help fill in the blanks. Our DMs are open. You know what I'm saying? We're around. Leave your questions and comments and concerns and your opinions. Jump in the chat, say whatever you got to say. I think we could probably wrap up here, and if anything, we can return to this conversation on a later date and go in more depth and detail on that second half of.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So, because I would actually like to get real deep into that other half and just illustrate like the destruction of the DCEU before James Gunn got officially named as head. You know what I mean? But for now, I think this is a great.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is great groundwork for now. This is a lot of fun, man. And a lot of reminiscing and almost like nostalgia to a degree. You know what I mean? And it makes me appreciate like I don't know, just the past and where we came from, and just a fan of all this. You know what I mean? What do you think?
Yeah, man. Because look, this is crazy, bro. The breadcrumbs, bro, that have been laid out. I think that it kind of answered why we were kind of bumping our heads at that, like, you know, hey, because he's the most mediocre director that gets the most protection. Like,
oh my God, yeah.
They try to act like this guy is some auteur and stuff like that, and it's like, yo, man, like the Guardians films, bro. At the very least, you can say that thing did not grow beyond what it did really in the first film that much. Like, I think the second one made a little bit more, and then like just a little bit, and then the third was like around the same, you know, box office, right? Like, that franchise didn't really grow like that, you know. Guardians 2 got a lot of backlash. People did. I still to this day have not found anybody that does not say that first film is the best one out of that trilogy. So you peaked in Guardians 1. The Suicide Squad flopped. It lost well over $100 million, damn near $200 million. Why you got people in the chat talking about how fucking successful that it was, right? Peacemaker did YouTube numbers, right? Bro, like what is the track record, bro?
Outside
bro?
of that first thing he just said, outside of Guardians, right? Suicide Squad lost the studio money. Peacemaker did not get any viewership. It didn't even crack 700,000 in views. 700,000, not million.
But they'll be in here talking about that shit is successful. End of story. Right? Ain't that crazy?
You know who just entered the chat, right?
Do you think James Gunn can reboot the DC universe properly?
Does this answer your question?
Oh my gosh. James Gunn. 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 Woo!
Crazy, bro.
One of the Gunns.
So I really don't want to hear it anymore. It's just like James Gunn's little bitches who are giving me that problem.
Crazy.
Kay Walton, James Gunn's not more successful than Zack Snyder at the box office. Zack Snyder, look at Batman v Superman and how well 300 did and all that stuff. Boy, I gotta tell you, James Gunn's fans, you guys are like, you're more aggressive. Let's just say more aggressive than even Snyder fans. And that's saying something. Woo! And you got a lot of free time, I must say.
Crazy Joe, you got a lot of free time, I must say.
She might as well just say Crazy Joe. Right? Come on, man.
Oh, man.
Crazy, bro.
Hilarious.
You see this all the time at the level of a top producer.
Right? But the flop. So, yeah.
Between them or separately.
Do I have that, Ben? I don't think I have that one.
Oh, my
I love that drop, too.
Oh,
man.
my God, bro. He said, I got very little.
I got this one, though.
We are live.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
What?
TheNuGeekz. That's right.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he said, I got that, though.
Yeah.
Gotcha, bitch.
I'm sorry, bro.
I forgot I had that one.
I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect.
I'm sorry.
Then this bitch twerking, dog.
That was me, y'all. I'm sorry.
This
My
bitch
fucking
twerking.
fingers just.
Nah, you good.
That shit.
Because they in this bitch twerking, dog. They twerking. Hey, twerking is dangerous, man. Don't do that. Don't twerk. Don't twerk, man. Don't be in this bitch twerking, dog. God dang. But yeah, y'all go ahead and put your last minute questions, comments, concerns, well wishes, hell, hate. I don't give a damn, but say it in the comments, say it in the chat. And maybe
Gotcha,
we'll
bitch.
respond. Woo! Man.
Oh my god.
This was dope. I love the winging it quality of it all. What are your last thoughts on this stream and what we got going on in the future?
This is all I wanted, bro.
We did it. We did it.
This is all I wanted, bro. I'm like, we gotta make sense.
Mama, we made it,
bro. Right?
You know what I mean?
Mama, I made it. You know what I'm saying? He said research, bro.
Facts.
Right? Hey, nah, this is dope, man. I'm just so glad that I ended up asking that question and then we had that conversation, bro. Right? Like, we really needed to have this talk, and I'm glad that we could bring. I guess it's gonna be part one. You know, phase one, right? I know people got mad at the phase one thing that came out recently, you know what I'm saying? But hey, I guess this is phase one now, you know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna come back with phase two. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Word.
Right. He said reading is fundamental, right? Hey,
Facts,
nah,
better let them know.
Hey, nah, look, I'm very happy with how this stream turned out, man. Shouts out to the homie, right? We be having these conversations, man, and shit just be going haywire, right? Like
we've had so many conversations that probably should have been streams.
Yeah, bro. For real, man. For
like,
real.
So serious.
Right?
Like we're done with the conversation. We're like, even the way we've talked to each other during certain conversations, the cadence and the pacing is like, damn, bro, we sound like we're on stream. Because sometimes we be just chilling and just shooting the shit. But like when we really going in depth, we sound like we're taking
on a fucking stream, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird, man. In a good way.
Right.
Not weird in a delete your tweets from the anyway.
No,
yeah, man.
Don't do that, bro.
Facts. Man, I appreciate you, bro. And I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, in you, I have found a friend who sparks intellectual conversations and conversations that bug people, man. Because like we've been conditioned in this society to think that everything's a conspiracy. We're not saying like, oh my God, this is everything that officially happened. What we're saying is there has been enough chatter about what we're talking about.
Y'all better look at Doge, motherfucker.
Fact. Some of this shit was true. Like, the shit that I said that I heard, I can't help that I heard it. I'm not gonna apologize for that. You know, like I heard that the Superman's film sucks from two separate entities.
Yep.
That said that they
shout out My Time to Shine, right? Like, bro, hey, we got the scoop first over here, buddy.
Facts. Talking about, I heard that the film, bro, and I literally went up under that. I was like, yeah, so did I.
Here's what I heard. So here's what I've heard.
If you know, you know, right?
If you know, you know, type shit.
Look, I get it. Like it can get a little conspiratorial, right?
Here, yeah,
in the eyes of people.
Conspiracy theory, this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Read.
Facts.
And you shall know. I'm sorry, bro. Look,
no, you Gucci, bro. Love the shirt. And you know, to that I just say, like, look, man. Again, hopefully this stuff just kind of open your eyes and open your ears to potential information, and you'll do your own research. I've been this way since I was a kid. Like I recently heard the whole My DualShock interview. I didn't finish it all. I got to finish it very soon because I usually listen to this. Facts. Shout out to HMDS, part of the Syndicate Network. I usually listen to everybody's streams on the way to work, on the way to places. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a good time to tap in. So, I forgot where I was going with that.
Bro, tell me this ain't true, bro.
Wait, Gunn got jealous that his wife like Henry Cavill. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, you know.
Is that your chick?
I forgot where I was going with that.
Is that your chick? I'm sorry, bro. I don't even know.
No, you good. I forgot I was going with that.
Bro, come on, man. Like, is that what happened, dog? Did she choose up?
Damn, I forgot where I was going with that. But oh my god, I hate when I do that because I was going somewhere with that.
I'm sorry, bro.
It wasn't me with
Damn,
you.
dog.
I messed myself up when I brought up HMDS. Why did I bring them up?
We were talking about. Wait, you did have an angle. I don't remember what it was either.
Damn, tap in with the chat. I gotta remember this.
Man. Nate's meme said, I hear the Superman movie is exactly what we've all suspected from the start while it's closed. Right, yeah. That's pretty much what Leon heard as well. And yeah, I heard that it's Justice League International, you know what I mean? And about 85 to 90% of that Man of Steel 2 script, which we knew it was. Yeah. Yeah. But you were undone by self-pride.
I remember now. All right. So
hey, I was just
you know what I did?
I was stalling.
I just I hit rewind on the stream.
Oh my god.
I love this stream because it's so raw, bro.
Hey.
Anyway, so shout out to Common Sense, right? So when I was a kid, because HMDS was talking about this, how they didn't really it was Katie. She was saying how she didn't really get inspiration or know about behind the scenes stuff until she became an adult, essentially, right? I've been like this since I was a kid, man. I've been tapping into behind the scenes stuff since I was a little kid. Like I was like 6, 7 years old, always wanting to know who the directors were. I remember looking up, like going to the library and looking up like what is a director of photography. The when Batman in the Academy Awards won for art direction, I was like, what does that mean? I've just always been enamored and intrigued by the behind the scenes machinations of everything having to do with movies. I'm a freaking movie head, and I still don't think that I'm like up there with other cinephiles like that, because I'm like a shove popcorn in your face type of nerd when it comes to movies. I'm not like it has to be avant-garde in a black and white French film. I'm not pretentious about it. Like I'm your everyday average moviegoer, but I'm just way enthusiastic about it. So this conversation is just.
You mean to tell me you haven't seen A Midsummer's Night Evening in the Garden of Indifference?
No, subterfuge.
Subterfuge. Yeah.
But yeah, so this is just an adult version of that. The same things that I used to do as a child, I just would do as an adult, like all these different details. That's the only reason I know and know when to look up, what to look up, and where to look it up. And Sky helped me out in things that annoyed the shit out of me. Like I was way too close to the information, so I'm like, yo, this is pissing me off. Where? And Sky's like, oh no, I got you here, bang. And I'm like, whoa, So this is great. I loved it. I love picking this information apart. You know what I mean? And splicing it all together for the viewing audience. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll circle back to part 2. That's maybe a little less gun centric, but a little more in depth on what occurred, after the timeline of pretty much this timeline. Let me see. I'll just say the BVS timeline from then on, because there's a lot between BVS and ZSJL that occurred. Like we still haven't told you guys about why Ben Affleck would allegedly, about the warehouse scene, a mother effer behind the scenes on behalf of Zach, allegedly. You know what I mean? So he got Zach's back, which is why Zach put his name on his back in ZSJL. So anyway,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So that's all I got, bro. Much love to the chat for showing up. You guys are dope. You guys tuned into the first dual stream within the syndicate network of Skywalker the Jedi, Apex Leon, Skywalker, TheNuGeekz, Syndicate Network.
World's finest, you dig?
World's finest. That's what we should call these streams. I think. You know what I mean? World's finest. I dig that. I dig that. With that being said, we out.